Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody from all around the world, we are back with another episode of The Welch with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. That's right, make some noise, clap it up, get excited. I am back. We are here, and everybody is excited for the world of the Welch Report coming back, and the boxing world is a buzz with one of the most exciting fighters making a major statement in Boots Ennis, knocking out LIMA at 154 pounds in his debut. Oh, what is this for the ripple effects of the world of boxing? What is it going to be like now for the likes of Virgil Ortiz, Sebastian Fundora, Backwam, everybody that now looks to be on the list of Boots Ennis? What did this win from Ennis on LIMA prove for Ennis as a fighter in this division at 154? And is there a potential opportunity that now, with the backs of this win blowing the sails of Boots' cachet and rise to stardom, will it be an opportunity that we can actually get a fight with Terrence Crawford somewhere down the line at 160? And if he's able to fight like this at 154, as dominantly as we see right now, there's a potential opportunity that fight actually might not be too far down the line. If we're going to be completely honest, we got all that and much more, like with other boxing news, like with other announcements. We got the NBA getting ready to start up in less than, two weeks, 3 weeks. We're going to be able to talk about that as well. NFL as well with, hey, my Panthers winning, yes sir. Hey, we got the dub against the Cowboys. Let's go. That's right, keep pounding, baby. Take that. All y'all in Dallas, all y'all in Texas, forget y'all. Y'all thought it was gonna be sweet. Nah, ain't nothing sweet here but Carolina barbecue. You're doggone right. Oh man, we got a lot to cover. We got a lot of stuff to have on the docket for today, but let's get the intro out the way properly. If you're just tuning into the show, please leave a like on the video. Come on, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Come on and join the empire. We love what we got going on right now. We are officially at 2,025 subscribers. Hey, we're matching the year. Let's see if we can break we can break this year's marker of 2025 in terms of the date. By today, let's see if we can get to 2K, I guess we can call it 2K26, that we can make it happen, and we can all make it more enjoyable with you and your support as you continue to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please share the show with everybody that you know, so we can keep on building this empire together. All with you and your support, we can make this possible, and we're going to have and again, the more of y'all join in, the better the conversations, the more fervor, fire, energy that we can all have for the show, and it is going to be a blast, no question about it. Also, if you want to support the channel, we got means of Cash App and PayPal. Links down below in the description. In the description, if you would like to support, it would mean the world to me. Whatever you can give would be sufficient and could help us, or not could, will help us to be able to make this show bigger, better, grander, offer your viewing and listening pleasure But it's 5 stars on every podcasting platform. And I think that's everything. And if you want to chat something in the comment section, hey, put it in the chat and we can bring it up right here on the screen for you all to be able to see, witness, and enjoy and have your voice be heard in the whole conversation in the global affairs of what this show is going to be about. So we appreciate all of you tuning in. We appreciate all of you having fun. Let me do one more quick check just to make sure that we are okay, when it comes to looking at the stream, we had some technical difficulties last time out before we had to get on out of here because we had to take a break, had to do what we had to do, had to leave, had to go and handle some business. And I tell you what, business looking good right now. Hey, we got some news coming. Just keep it good. You be patient. We got some stuff coming, I'm telling you right now. And so it's exciting for it. But I had to do what I had to do over there. And now we are back. We are here. We are ready. Have ourselves some fun. Let me real quick go silent for a quick second so I can make sure that I'm actually doing my chat like I'm supposed to. This is just out of paranoia is the wrong word. It's caution. That's what I'm looking for. Caution. That's the word I was looking for, to make sure that we get everything set and in order, and we are indeed in order. So hey. Without further ado, now that we get everything set, we got boxing to cover. We got sports to delve into. We got boots to talk about. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to step into the ring. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's right. Ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round one of this show going underway in the conversation point of the day, and one of the most not high profile, well, he is high profile, but one of the most shocking developments in the world of boxing right now. We have Jerron Boots Ennis going through and absolutely destroying LIMA in his first debut at 154 pounds. Now, last time I tried to show the replay of the fight, I got copyright stricken. I ain't doing that this time, but I'll tell you what, I'll describe it, because it ended in less than a minute and 30 seconds. They came out swinging, or rather, Boots came out aggressive. Boots came out stalking. Next thing you know, he slips a punch by LIMA, catches him with the uppercut while off angle, and rocks that butt of the kingdom come. And then that's when the downtrend started. Oh yeah, that's when the destruction really started to come into effect, and this man did not let up. I am talking about a relentless fervor of domination and combination punching that Boots showed on the night. Didn't waste any time, didn't play around, didn't attempt to let LIMA go through and just, I'm gonna show my skills and then show y'all I can style on anybody. Nah, he went to kill him. He went to try to destroy him. This brother went to try to take him out. And doggone it, he did it. Oh my gosh.
We got some problems
here. He did it. It was phenomenal. It was incredible. And it wasn't a lot from the standpoint of it ended in less than 2 minutes. That meant that he was not trying or attempting or wanting to wait around to have this situation be that he is just not handling his business. Part of the reason, now you also got to understand the story coming into this whole fight. We were frustrated with Boots Ennis. Oh yes we were. Because remember, we were all saying that you should have been above this level. And I respect that LIMA is a top 10 fighter at 154. I understand that. That's where he was ranked. We were, at least I was saying, I won't say we, I'll say me. I was saying that for a tune-up fight, I am okay with you taking one tune-up fight before going into the deep end of a new division, which this is where Boots was at. But the issue was, even with that context, Boots was being wishy-washy on when and where he was actually going to fight and what he was or was not going to do. And we were saying now, hey, if you're talking about 2 tune-ups, 3 tune-ups, hypothetically, before you get in the ring with the big heavy hitters and champions at 154, we're saying you don't need to waste that much time. Why do you need to waste that much time? I was even saying he could have gone and fought immediately with the big dogs at 154 because he was just that good. There was no tune-up required for his ability to compete in that dominant state with the best that the world has to offer at 154 pounds. But now we clearly see, yeah, we did not need a tune-up. This buddy didn't need a doggone thing except for just step in the ring, because he's sitting pretty now. He's sitting pretty. And this was a major statement. This was a huge statement. Was LIMA better than him? No. Was it a big test in Boots' skills? No. Was it a situation where Boots was being pushed to the limit or did this against a guy who had been proven routinely all throughout his career? No. But he handled what he was supposed to handle. And he did it in a way that was even shocking to me because I didn't think it was going to be that dominant. I knew it was going to knock him out. I didn't think it was going to be that quick, that destructive, that concise, and that deliberate and impressive. Even if the opponent is not something that is, oh my gosh, a shock-worthy affair. Something can still be impressive even though it's not the cream of the crop. That's what this was. If you're going to do this, and I was saying, with all the questions surrounding Boots Ennis right now, Jerron had to show us what he was going to be. He had to prove to me that this man was really worth the hype. We were saying a couple episodes ago, Boots was a brother who we were all sitting on pins and needles with because we did not know if Boots was really worth the billing to some degree of the status of talent that he had said, or that we said that he had. Yes, he is a dominant force of nature. Yes, he's a physical specimen. But with all of that being taken into account, still, we're looking at a man who was not proven to the degree that we wanted to. Again, at this point in time now, 34-0 with, 30 KOs is about on his resume. 30 wins. We were saying, just like with Tank Davis, 30 wins in your career and you still don't have a dominant, substantial win out, or more than just one dominant, substantial win. That seems to be a bit of a problem. Seems to be a bit of, hey, you're dragging your feet. What's going on? Are you really worth the hype that you've been about? Now, after he beat standing owners, okay, cool, confirmed your ability at 147. Okay, you actually are about that work. Now at 154, especially with some of the struggles. Sugar John still coming up in the minds of people. What you gonna do? You gonna talk that talk, or you gonna keep on wasting time? Now it looks like he ain't wasting time no more. This is good. This is great. And this is scary, because this is a message to the rest of the division. Hey, I'm here. I'm about that life. More than I'm about that life, but I am who y'all say I am. Yes, this was a fight I was supposed to win. Guess what? The way I did it even impressed naysayers. Even impressed people that said that I had more work to do. Shoot, impressed me. Now I'm a brother who, I'm not saying I'm a dude who's just strict as all get out, but I'm not messing around when I say somebody needs to show me something more. And Lord knows, he did it. Especially when you do it in a way that you don't waste time against a person that does not belong in the ring with you. This is great. And now after this win, we got everybody on notice because per the words of Boots himself, as I pull it up in the old picture and picture, there we go. Yep, got it right here. We went out and finally, that call out that we teased earlier, the call out that he teased earlier in the year or earlier in the month for be prepared for what I'm going to say after the fight. I'm going to let you speak for himself where his headspace is at right now. First, I'm going to make sure that you all can actually see it. Okay, y'all can see it. Let him speak for itself.
Between two guys that aren't full title holders yet, and that is you against Virgil Ortiz. We didn't see that fight happen at 147 pounds. Does it need to happen next?
It's going to happen next. I know he got his fight coming up. He focused on his fight, and if you don't win, I'll fight LIMA. I'll fight the winner of that. But I want Virgil Ortiz next. And if we can't get Virgil Ortiz next, I heard that Baby Cub was calling me out too. Charlo, he can get it next. Fundora, what's his name? Baccarat, Bartram. The IBF champ, he can get it. Everybody 154 can get it. I'm missing somebody. Who I'm missing? Xander can get it. Anybody at 154, I'm belt chasing. This is my division. 154 is mine. I'm on tour.
We heard a lot from Virgil's team over the last few months how you didn't want the fight against him. You wanted another fight before. You never.
That's next. Too much talking. That's next. It's in their hands now.
All right. Well, you heard it from the man first. Hey, you heard it from him. From the horse's mouth himself. This man putting everybody, he is putting everybody on notice right now, and is not wasting a second trying to show us what he is about when it comes to business, and when it comes to boxing, when it comes to his stance in trying to make his name known. All the questions that we may have had about this brother potentially not being about that life from a perspective of this cat maybe doesn't want it like he's supposed to. Maybe he's a little bit scared of some of the competition. Maybe it's a little bit, I'm not going to say rusty, but he's waiting around to a point that he might not feel the same confidence of sorts that he would have normally when he looks at the big heavy hitters. But lo and behold, now we don't gotta ask that no more. You ain't gotta after that type of fight, and you come out and you talk like that, all right, you made me a believer. I want to see what you can do, because now you're looking like somebody that's a little bit serious. You're looking like somebody that is all that talk of, do you really want him? Do you not really want him? What's the move? What's the word? Where you going to go? What you going to be? How long do we have to wait? You ain't waiting around no longer. Hey, old buddy, old boy is now doing everything that we said we wanted him to do. He is now going for blood, going for smoke, and going to make his place known in this division by wiping out everybody. And thank the Lord. Thankfully, thank goodness. My gosh. My word. Am I so glad that finally came about and it's happening? So I do appreciate. Also, let me see what you all say. Miss Queen, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We're so glad you're with us on today on this incredible afternoon. We appreciate all your time and all your energy coming through. Let me see what you guys say right now. Big quarterback, Bully Boots. Yeah, no, right. Boots, he's moving like a bully, and now he called his shot. Finally, against everybody. Virgil Ortiz, we now got an answer. But that fight's looking to be next. He putting the ball in. This is what I always say. Fighters, call out your ops. Let it be known what you want to do. Because if you just try to keep on playing the waiting game behind the scenes, or the vagueness, the vagueness of leaving who do y'all want to see me fight ambiguous, next thing you know, nothing gets done because there's no pressure. There's no feet to the fire. There's no accountability being held on one end of the spectrum to make it so that people move like you want them to move. Now we getting it. His brother, again, he called out Fundora. He called out Bakram. He called out, who was it? Lubin. He called out Lubin. He called out Ortiz. Every single major heavy hitter that we got at 154. He said he's chasing. He's going at the belts. He wants to work. He wants everybody to know this man is showing up to put on gold. Y'all got some crowns I need to wear. And this brings the next question to the whole point in the fight. Beyond just the fight being, again, a minute long and being a destruction job. Beyond him now fully being at the top, most likely at the top of most people's list of who is the biggest competitive threats at 154 in a very steep division. Now we got to ask the question, everybody's got on their mind, is the Boots the best 154-pound fighter in the world right now? Hold on.
Hey,
there we go.
We got the problems here.
Gotta make sure. Gotta make sure I got the sound right. But this is the question. This is the question everybody's asking now in light of this fight. Is Boots the best 154-pounder in the world? With this whole event, with everything going on right now. Now, again, we've had this conversation similarly at 147, when he had to beat Stanionis in order to truly take the crowns of, yes, you are the best of the best and nobody and everybody else is below you. The best of the best of the best, and everybody else is just the rest. That's what we had to do with Boots versus Stanionis at 147. I understand it. I still believe in it. But at the same time, I was talking about talent. I was talking about ability. I was talking about his ability compared to everybody else after his most recent performance. Do we see it as the best in the division? Now, I ain't gonna lie. With this type of fight, there's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of hype. Some of that hype got validated, even against an opponent that may not be as proven, which I get. A lot of questions got answered mentality-wise of what Boots is trying to do. And that was the biggest concern with whether we can see this man be competitive, let alone reign supreme at 154. Now with a lot of those questions answered, at least in some degree, all of a sudden we got to sit back and say, wait a minute now. If he's moving like this and fighting like this, and he can make other people look like this as well in the division, look, I'm not saying Lima's a great fighter, but he ain't a bum to put him out that quick for somebody who can actually take a punch decently. Hey, wait a minute now. We might, from a talent perspective, like I said almost a year ago, or at least 6 months ago, this man, before ever stepping foot in the division of 154, could already be the best talent in that division, point blank period. And now it's starting to look like it. I'm not going to lie. It's starting to look like it just a little bit, but let me see what you all got to say. Like with Fido. Hey, Fido, yo! What's going on with you, Fido? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We appreciate you coming back with us on today. Like I said, we were last week, had to leave. Business to take care of. Now we back, and we having ourselves some fun, and we going to do what we do best, which is enjoy and have a great show. Enjoy the company and talk about boxing as a whole. Again, if you want to support the channel, we still got Cash App and PayPal. Links down below in the description if you would like to support. But hey, just stick around. Just leave a like on the stream. That's all we asking. Just leave a like on the stream. Let the algorithm see that this is a great conversation point for the whole of not just the boxing community, but the sports community as a whole. Yes, this is indeed the hottest show in all the globe. And can't nobody do it better than us right here on this community. We appreciate you all coming in. But let me see. BD Lima doesn't say anything yet. No, I am not saying that Lima shows, okay, yeah, it's a can't nobody stop. I get that. I even gave that caveat, understanding where Lima was. A 10th ranked fighter, but who is respectable, but isn't nowhere near close to the top. A cat who we wanted to see if Boots could just handle his business and beat a brother who we all felt was leagues better than him. Again, this was a tune-up. What do you look like in your first steps at 154? It's going to be a showcase. We understood that. What was that showcase going to look like? Because in some situations, we've seen showcases where a fighter's won, but they ain't looked in a way that it's been impressive, that it has captured the imagination, that it's shown, hey, there might be something here against a person you're supposed to beat. This is a situation where he blew my expectations for a cemented win of what it should look like. He blew that out the water. So I gotta give him some props. He answered some stuff I have been waiting for him to answer, both mentally and physically, when it comes to what does he look like? What's his strength like? How's his speed looking like? What does his body act like when it's at this 154-pound division? Even against somebody who, again, is not at the top. What is it? Show me what you're capable of. He's capable of that. I'm going to tell you right now, even amongst the best at 154, they ain't putting on those types of performances against that type of fodder. That's not to discredit him. But I'm saying, even when you have easy fights and you handle them that easily, that does say something. That does speak to a level of, hey, we got to at least keep an eye out for this brother. And I'm not going to be the one to not give it that level of respect, because I know he'll be something serious. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Crawford, the pod boss. Yeah, right now, Miss Queen, you right. Right now, Crawford is the pod boss of this whole regime. He's the guy that is essentially reigning supreme right now at this division. Ain't no, or in the whole of boxing, absolutely. But we're going to get into Crawford, Boots, those types of conversations later on. We absolutely will. But again, please keep on liking the stream. Keep on sharing the show as we keep on having this great conversation, because I'm trying to catch everybody. Let me see. Garden Snake, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. Let me see what you got to say on the matter. Hopefully you leave a like on the stream. Let me see what you got to say. Boots is the only one from 160 down who can truly beat Bud. Now, again, we're going to talk about that a little bit. We are. Trust me, I got that as the third topic of the day. But we don't want to overreact yet. I don't want to be, I'm not, again, we trying to be, we unbiased on this show. I'm not going to say that Boots is all of a sudden, yeah, he's still bing, bang, boom, he's there. Oh, he can beat him today. No, we ain't doing that. But what I am saying is that he can quickly get there. He can quickly get there. If he's moving like this, and let's say he goes to the elite level, which again, he's talking about fighting all the elite fighters now, call them all out by name, which is great. Let's say he gets undisputed within 2 years. All of a sudden, hey, I'm moving up to 160. Or dare I say he tries to do something stupid. And between now and the end of what? Shoot. Between now and what, November? He tries to go for undisputed outright. He takes a Noya in a way route. He fights 4 times a year, gets a belt, unifies 2 or 3, and gets the last one for undisputed. If he goes that route, next thing you know, all of a sudden, hey, I did what I need to do. 2027, Crawford, where you at? You got a belt? Did you get your belts at 160? Bet. I'm coming up. It can be that type of situation. I'm not going to say he's going to be ready to beat him. No, I'm not going to say he would beat him. But I am saying if this is the look of what the rest of the career is going to be like for Boots Ennis, being able to be this destructive and get out this clean, hypothetically, I'm not saying he's going to do it against all the elites, but I am saying this is a very promising outlook of, even though it's somebody you're supposed to beat, hey, brother, you look pretty good doing it. And the guy is actually respected. We're not hyping him up. But you handled your business in a way that even shocked me. I got to give you, knocked the brother down 3 times. He had him out on his feet 5. You barely got touched, and you were walking that brother down. Overwhelmed, overpowered. All of a sudden, that new muscle, that new ability. Maybe them doctors were right when they were saying this brother was 40, was operating like 15 to 30% up to his capacity as a fighter because he was weight drained. We even saw a picture of this brother. He was looking weight drained at 147. We ain't gonna lie. Looking, hey, not trying to overreact. I'm not, but I am saying there is some promise there that I am very, very much excited for, and he can get up to that level of Boots Ennis. But again, I want to hear from you all in the comment section. Do you think that Boots right now is the best 154-pounder in the world from a talent perspective, or do you still want to hold out any sort of acclamations about him up until he actually faces off against, again, the big hitters that he named, like Ortiz, like Bakram, like Fundora, like Lubin? Which, if whatever side of fence you hold, I respect it, but I want to hear from you all in the comment section down below, if you don't mind. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say so we're not wasting too much time on the thing. Is Crawford on another level? Yeah, again, I think so too. But I also understand that time does catch up to everybody. It might be that if they do fight, it will be at the right time, and it could be, hey, could be pretty good. Love King, how you doing as well? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Let me see what you got to say on the matter. Boots looked great, 100%. Yes, he did. I don't think anybody can beat him at 154. See, I'm not the only one that's starting to feel like what I had said a couple months ago might actually be valid. This isn't me trying just to jump on the bandwagon. We're looking at his buddy and we're saying, hey, he's doing stuff that is legitimately impressive. Again, even against people that you're supposed to beat. You still got to be something special to handle them like that. Because everybody ain't. We know everybody ain't. We've seen it. And so that's impressive. But let me see. Crawford at 38 still beats Boots. Doesn't matter. It might. Like I said, we're going to talk about it in the next segment. Because trust me, I want to hear you all's conversation on that. Let me see. Garden Snake, Bakram, Fundora, Virgil are probably the ones Boots has to go after. Xander still needs more time. Where, see, here's the thing. Xander Zayas, now that he is a champion, full-blown champion, there's no more time that he can wait around for. See, that's the problem. See, here's what we have to understand now. Of all the champions and contenders at 150, we'll say strictly champions. Strictly just champions by themselves. With Fundora and a couple other people having multiple belts. Again, Fundora fighting Keith Thurman, which now has gotten moved to the undercard of Isak Cruz versus Lamont Roach, which, hey, might have been, first it was because of a hand injury, which I understand. That fight got redone mighty quick. Some people are saying that's because the tickets just weren't selling. Whatever the case may be, we won't speculate. We're just going to jump into it. I think it was an actual injury. But still, regardless of which, of all the champions at 154 right now, the weakest one is Xander Zayas from a experience perspective. Again, he's incredibly young. Yes, he's got a lot of talent, but he's incredibly young. But even with that same vein, because you are a champion, there's no more waiting around. You got to wait for the right time. Now, if somebody gets up to you, guess what? You have to face them. You got to, and unless you're like a Canelo, or unless you're like a Tank, where you can, or unless you're in those positions like a Usyk or a Crawford, where you have the ability and the backing from the belt commissions and from your own promoters to be able to move like you want to move. Most people, it's got to be, you get them. You got to get there. If somebody gets up to you, guess what, brother? They're mandated. They're mandatory. Either you fight them or you get dropped off. Or you drop the belt, excuse me. Boots right now is looking to be, if he wanted the easiest way to go after a title, to immediately get a belt, wouldn't it make sense to fight Xander Zayas? Even though Xander might not be ready from a talent perspective, guess what? He is the champion. One of the belt holders in the division. Has one of the 4 Infinity Stones in boxing at 154 when it comes to world championships. Well, it's more so 5. 4 belts and the lineal belt, so 5. 5 in the Infinity Gauntlet. He's got him. So he's going to have to face him. I wouldn't be surprised if, hypothetically, if this fight with Virgil Ortiz does not happen. If this fight with Virgil doesn't happen. Let's say Virgil wins, but talks go through, he gets injured, something like that, and the fight's never to be made when he wants to see it. Guess what? Boots got enough star power that Xander can't really use his own championship aspirations or championship pedigree, which again is very new, to get away from that fight. If Boots was like, hey, I'm going after his belt, I guarantee you, especially now, with how the hype around Boots has gotten started. Mind you, he was one of the leading people. It's trending all over the interwebs. Sounds so old. Trending all over the internet. Why did I say interwebs? I sound like a geezer. Hold on. Trending all over Twitter or X. We're going to call it Twitter. I ain't calling it that. But still. Everybody got to see the knockout. Some of my own people got to see the fight. I about missed the fight trying to get the fight on because it ended so quick, but it was so violent. He's garnered a whole bunch of hype, not just hype, marketability, that he can now be a part of that fast track to success, and Zayas is just in the way. If he's in the way, buddy, he's going to have to face it. Either he beats him, goes through. If he don't, guess what? You going to go back in the line. But Boots, they ain't going to let this momentum go away. Especially Eddie Hearn. Especially Eddie Hearn, he ain't going to let him go away. I promise you that. I guarantee you that. But let me keep on reading. Ramon Vasquez, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us on today. Let me hear what you had to say on the matter. We do want to make sure we have all our people able to be a part of the conversation. We can tell right now he don't have the credentials yet. Yeah. I mean, yeah. In terms of Zayas, yeah, if you're talking about Zayas, yeah. But I believe, unless I'm wrong, before I continue, let me make sure I fact check that he is indeed a champion. Hold on, let me fact check. I want to make sure that I'm right. Hold on. I'm always down to fact check. Like I said, we have no issue being wrong. We want to make sure that we are where we need to be. Okay, yep. Okay, I thought so. He is a champion. He is a champion. He is a champion 154. Junior middle, one weight class below 160. Yeah, so he is a champ currently right now. No problem. Absolutely phenomenal. Even if he ain't got the credentials, guess what? He got the belt. I promise you, under the regime of Eddie Hearn, if you can't get Boots versus Virgil, even Boots versus Lubin, go after that and then bring that into whatever title fight that you want to do. Absolutely. Let me see. I bet Boots fights the champion Abbas. He really could. I mean, like, here's the thing. He could fight Abbas. He could, but right now, after this performance, with what it sparked for the whole of the boxing community, and even reaching some of the outskirts. I mean, there's young fans, old fans, people that don't know nothing, all of a sudden talking to me about Boots Ennis. This, even though, again, it was a fodder type of win, it got people talking. And now it might be worthwhile that, hey, but I feel good, I fought good, I look good in this fight. So now we can go. I don't need to wait around. I can go straight for the big dogs now. I'm ready. He might actually feel that way. And if he moves like it, guess what? He's talking like it. Now, like I said, he's talked before. We need to see if he keeps true to his word. Understandable. But does keep to it. I would not be surprised in the slightest. This cat goes through and tries to fight at 154 against everybody. And against Virgil Ortiz now, we got to start asking. If he's saying that Virgil Ortiz is next, guess what? That now means we got to start making some comparison. Brother, who's the worst going to win that fight? We have to start having that conversation now.
Hey, look at this.
Because he's saying he's here. And he heard him saying he's here. And I even think, hold on. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Hold on, because I might have actually a perfect sound. I might have, wait a minute, hold on, if it's saved here, I tried to save it before it went away from me. I think this is one of the two videos that we had saved for, and this was after the press conference in the locker, or after the fight in the locker room with Boots Ennis, doubling down on what he had to say. I'm gonna play that real quick, but let me quickly read through the rest of these chats before we go back into the picture-in-picture to go and let you see what Boots had to say, further elaborating on the Virgil Ortiz situation. But let me go read. Zenizai is just another model actress who fucking small looks in boxing. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say again, he is the youngest champion in boxing right now. I'm not gonna say because again, even I'm gonna be real and try to he is a, like, he's not a interim, he's not a silver, he's a world, like a legit world champion. That ain't nothing to slack off. I'm not gonna lie, that's not something to slack off with. But do I think he's going to be able to beat him? No, if he did fight him. Boots versus Fundora, I'd love to see that one. I believe Boots will KO him early. I believe so too. Now, if again, now that the fight got moved back to a new date, I think it's under now the Lamont Roach Eastside Cruz fight. Let me check and see. Let me verify that real quick to make sure I got that. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I apologize. That fight now, as you can see right here, had the fight mixed up. That fight now is going to be on the undercard for Pacquiao when Pacquiao comes back in, what was the date? Was it January? Yeah. As you can see right here, in January, late January, excuse me, probably 26, 28 to the 30th, sometime around the time. This fight got rescheduled. So if we see one of them win, and Boots still ain't got a fight yet, or talks fall through, hey, this could be an option. Any of these could be an option. I would probably, at this point in time, pick Boots over either of these guys. Again, for the answers that I got answered for me, or at least be like, yeah, I think at least Keith Thurman. He's taking out Keith Thurman. Fundora, he might have a little bit tougher time because, again, that height, that reach, and how he's evolved as a fighter and gotten better maybe a little more of a struggle, but even still, he could take the belt from both of them. That in detail place. But as I keep on reading, I want to make sure that I got everything right. So I'm actually able to get the okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. So this is with Virgil Ortiz and not Virgil Ortiz. Boots talking in light of Virgil Ortiz post his fight with Lima. Further elaborating on what he had to say and why he called him out.
What's your message to Oscar De La Hoya?
I'm coming. They got to focus on what they got in chest and hand. Like I said, Virgil next for me, and or if we're the winner, we're the winner or any of the champions. So I'm here, man. I'm tired of everybody talking. We about to shut everybody up for sure.
There you go. The whole thing about this, when it comes to mentality, a lot of it was essentially, do you really want that? Do you want the work to become as great as we think you can become? Are you ready to take on those tasks and to embrace the fact that, hey, you have to run through smoke, and we know you can run, or you got to run through fire to be able to come out pure gold like we think you can. But are you willing to actually start running in the first place? We were saying mentally, or at least me, was he really thinking in the manner of somebody who's supposed to be as dominant as a, not just physical specimen, but just a talent of a fighter as a whole? Are you going to switch the frame of thinking to finally match and absolutely unlock the best of your abilities as a fighter to put everybody down? And now he's starting to talk in a way that I've been wanting to see him talk like for a minute. Getting, not disrespectful isn't the right word, but getting fervent, getting dedicated, being direct and deliberate, giving fans a plan. That's what we were frustrated with Boots for the longest time. We didn't have a plan for Boots. We got to be real. We didn't have a plan for Boots. From the standpoint of knowing what he was going to do, where he was going to go, who he was trying to go after. What exactly was he looking for when it came to being in limbo between two divisions? When are you going to take that jump? When are you going to take the leap? When are you going to go and try to do the things that you need to do to establish your greatness? That's why I had said, like with Garden Snake, when he brought it up, that's why I said I would, before this fight with Lima, I wouldn't be surprised if we had fought Abbas. Because Abbas was the easiest champion out there, even though he had other work, and we were still unsure, not just of what he would look like at 154. That was based on production, performance, just getting in the ring and showing us what you can do. But mentally, we didn't know what you were going to be like when you stepped in the ring, because we didn't think you actually wanted to go after those big dogs to put yourself in the midst of that fire. Because mentally, I did not think you were there. Mentally, I was seeing that something was lacking from the way you were going, the demeanor. I'm not going to call them excuses, but the talking points that you would use to justify why you were or were not doing things in your career. I was saying, hey man, what's the deal? What's going on here? Why are you acting adjacent to what we know your talent can be? Skewing what your talent can be. And yes, he fought Danny Ennis, and he beat him. But then he went right back to talking in the same manner that had me questioning, okay, wait a minute now. Hey, there's some stuff I'm still ain't sold on. And now he's talking in the way that I've been wanting him to talk like. He's thinking in the way I've been wanting him to go about thinking. He has now gotten from the framework of his psyche matched up to be in a position where everything's in tune, everything is in line, and he now is saying, hey, y'all want to talk? Great. I'll put all that talk to bed. You don't got to wait on me. Now I'm waiting on them. Like he said when it came to Ortiz. Now, ball's in their court. It's on them now. They want to make the fight I'll make it quick. But you next for me, what you gonna do? That's all. Instead of being vague, instead of being shady, well, not shady, being very much ambiguous, very much read between the lines type of situation. Instead of letting yourself be seen as, yeah, I said what I said, do something about it. Because what I did to him, I'll do the same thing to you. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? And because of that frame of thinking, now I'm starting to believe, just like I had said when Boots was at 147, I think he's the best fighter at 154 for me, from a talent perspective. Yes, does he have to prove it? No question about it. Still got to go through and fight him. Still got to go through and win. Still got to beat him. That's the name of the game. You have to win. But from the sense of on paper, I can now confidently say that when I look at Boots Ennis versus everybody else at 154 right now, in one of the deepest divisions in boxing that we have today, and what is one of the more exciting divisions from a matchup perspective, where there are about 9 names, at least eight, that are real threats to potentially upset people left, right, and center. Shake up the list of pound for pound at 154 at the drop of a hat at any given point in time. Now with him there, and with him now talking and being bolstered like he's supposed to the top of the list of, hey, you belong in that top 5, top 4 range, where we want to see those big matchups now, I think he can take them all out. I really do. I think he can take. I think he can put everybody down. He can put them all down. He can put them all down, and I dare say he might be able to make it look easy doing it. Not because I'm trying to over-exaggerate this win, but because the mindset and the body now are matching up like they're supposed to. And when that takes place, especially with somebody of his ability, boy, it is going to be hard-pressed to say anybody, I mean anybody, at 154 can truly go and stop this. Because he's moving, man, the man's moving like a monster. Even against people that he should be. It's giving me credence to say he handled him like he didn't belong at all. If we see some of these other champions fall in that same caliber, he shows that they really don't belong with them. Y'all better watch out. Y'all better watch out, because then that comes up to that next point of the thing. On the next point of conversation in this show. Oh, no, not that one. Hold on. Wait, no, it didn't say. Wait a minute. No. It didn't say. Dang it. Hold on. Wait a second. I had changed the title. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Everybody stay with me. Everybody stay with me. Look. I've been gone for 3 days, okay? Okay, I've been gone for 3 days. Got me some slack. I had it saved here. Hold on, wait, I got it. Dang it. I did not say what I wanted to. Okay. Here we go. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay. Now, we can get into the actual talking point of the show. There. Crawford versus Boots at 160.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here.
There we go.
We got some problems here.
Now we had to, and I bring this up because I heard this on Inside the Ring, and it actually made for a pretty good talking point I wanted to bring into the hour show when it came to, does Crawford need to fight Boots now? Or will it be a situation where if they fight down the line, he's growing up and then boom, oh no, Crawford's gone down just enough and Boots now unlocked everything he is. Ooh. Similar to Canelo and David Benavidez. Will it be a situation where he's waiting around too long? Now, I'm not saying that he needs to fight him. From the standpoint of, yes, we want to see that fight. But again, Crawford's legacy set in stone. We don't need to do nothing with nothing. That's well and good. If he didn't fight him, guess what? He would still be top 10 best boxers in history if that did take place. But with Boots, if he's moving, if he does indeed move quick, could potentially get there. And now this actually becomes a legitimate conversation of, could that matchup actually happen? And at this point in time, who you got? Now I got Crawford. Be clear. At this right now, I got I got Crawford. No question. Right now, no question. But now we get to a year or two. With how Boots grows, this could get very interesting. But I want to hear from you all as a topic of discussion. Because, and I'm playing the clip of what Max Kellerman said as well, in regards to it, because he brought up a good plot point. We'll read it after we read you all the chats. Let me see. Love King, yes, I agree 100%. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the input. Young Guns, how you doing? Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're here with us on today. Let me see. Welch, respect to you, but I think you could be walking a thin line from being a fan man. But support with the way. Now, see, here's the thing. I'm a fan of multiple fighters. Yes, of course. I've even said this before. Being a fan is not the bad thing. I still give you my unbiased opinion on what I think's going and going not to happen. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. Being a fan is perfectly fine. As much as I talk about Tank in a negative light, which is deserved, I like watching Tank. I'm a fan of his. I just want to see him do that against other great people. Anyway, you already know. He's my favorite fighter in the world right now. I don't care. Even with Crawford being pound number one, completely understandable. Anyways, my favorite fighter, period. And in today's era in boxing, Crawford, I'm a fan of Terrence Crawford. And I've been a fan of Boots because he's a phenomenal fighter. And I love the way that he fights. He does it in a way that is indeed, yes, like nobody else in the sport. He's not Roy Jones Jr., but some of the comparisons of, for today's era, being able to do stuff that everybody else just can't do. Get away with things that everybody else just can't get away with. Yeah, there is some validity to that. Again, it's not Roy. It's not Roy. It ain't Roy. But it is existent and there is an inkling of similarity. So I love watching Boots fight. But I am not trying to be somebody that is just trying to be an apologist for him. I'm telling you what I see from a brother who is indeed a special fighter, like with others. I told you, Moses Atalma. I'm a fan of him early in his career. And I'm saying he can be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world because he's got skills and talent and an ability that other fighters at this stage in their career, as well as even for the next generation coming in, which is what Atalma is a part of, he's going to be better than all of them, in my estimation. All of them he's going to be better than, from what I'm able to see. And if it bodes true, guess what? Hey, the brother reached the potential I thought he could do. A couple years down, if Atalma was a couple more years experienced, a little bit older, in today's world of boxing with Usyk at the top, that would be an incredible fight to watch. But he's still young. Boots, I'm excited because Boots, again, is almost, was he 28? I think he's 28, 27. And he's had as many fights as Tank, but he hasn't been moving to push himself with what should be a very deep career filled with accolades and names aplenty. That's just not the case with him. Now that he's in a position to get all of those names very quick and in a hurry, hey, all right, there's a lot of potential there. There's two fights is all he needs to all of a sudden make himself the hottest ticket in the world of boxing, and everybody doesn't have a thing to say about him. He beats Ortiz and Fundora. or the winner, he beats the winner of Ortiz and Lubin, and he beats the winner of Fundora versus Thurman, all of a sudden, all of this conversation of skepticism goes out the window. Oh, yeah. It's Boots, of course. It's gonna delve into that thing. Just like it did at 147. The second he beat Staniotis, all that talk of what he was at the division shifted and changed. Yeah, okay, yeah, he's the best. He's the best, which I am completely for. Like I said, you got to prove what you are as a fighter. I have no issue there. No, the production is the best thing that happens. But I'm also not going to overlook and not tell you all what I see as the vision of what this man is capable of. If he fails, he fails. I was tough on him when he fought against Shukajan. Because I said, hey, brother, if you're struggling against Shukajan, who, again, mind you, just won and knocked out a brother at 147, and now is looking to be a real, he could be a world champion at 147. This division at 147, yeah, Shukajan could be a champion. He's looking good. He's looking really good. But after that fight with Shukajan, both of those fights, what was I saying? Magimov could give him a whole world of trouble. Because stylistically, he still struggles with people that can move. And he got carried away with wanting to eat shots because he didn't think you could hurt him. When he fixed that against Staniotis, hey, I called it and said, hey, that's great. Not I called it and said he would do it. I called it to say he now did the thing that we say he needed to do to be a better fighter. And now look at what he was able to do against a very stout champion in Staniotis. Wow, phenomenal. Respect it. Brother is indeed what we thought he could be at this division. Give him the crown because he earned it. I'm simply telling you, in my opinion, he can get that crown at this division in the same way. Even with LIMA being a very much fodder type of opponent from the standpoint of respective talent. At least give some respect to the fact that, A, he is a top 10 contender, and B, he didn't just handle LIMA. He made him look like he didn't belong, and that's what we needed. That's what I needed to see from him, to give me some validity to say, when I look at the outskirts of 154 and the radius of competition around, okay, there's now, with this being this much of a destructive thing, gives me some better confidence to say, yeah, you know what? All these blips on the radar of Boots might not be too much of a demonstrative issue to handle. It's still going to be an issue. It's still going to be hard. If you think Virgil Ortiz can stop Boots Ennis, I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I'm not. You know why? Because Virgil's a bad brother. Whether you think he should have a championship by now, whether you may have some questions about Virgil Ortiz and how he's moved throughout his career, at least a recent, which we brought up on this show, guess what? The brother's still considered top 3, if not at this point in time, the most known and recognizable face at 154, and it's seen for most people, or at least it's been seen for the majority of boxing fans, as the most dangerous brother at 154. What is it, like 28, 27 and 0? 25 knockouts, just about nearly 95% knockout ratio, at least the high 80s. We've gone over the wars with Welch. Gone over how he's been able to put people to sleep, left, right, and center. We've gone over how he handled Magimov. In many people's opinion, better than what Crawford handled him. So, I'm not, if you think he's going to lose to that, I have no issue. And Love King, I get what you're saying. Clean out 154, then we can talk. I ain't got no issue with it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not looking ahead to say, oh yeah, Crawford can beat Boots, or Boots can beat Crawford. Boom. Point blank, at any given point, at any given time. What I'm saying is, we got to look at this fight and say, this fight, with Crawford coming down, and with Boots moving up, if every fight with Boots is this much of a one-sided affair. Boots, because of the lack of damage and because of the ease at which he could potentially take the belts at 154. I said potentially because I know Fundora and everybody else is a game dog. But at the same time, I'm not gonna overlook the possibility that we're looking at a man who could actually legit run through this division with potential ease. Not because the competition is bad, but because he's just that good. And y'all know how much I value 154. I wouldn't be saying this to somebody that actually have the goods to make this an actual possibility. Boots actually does. And so with that being an understood potential reality, with his scope of talent, having that ability to reach that potential, yeah, this fight can actually be something. And to play the clip that I was going to play with Max Kellerman, in regards to this fight as a whole, and I know what some people have said when it comes to Max on inside the ring again, but maybe he just got some ring rust. Maybe he hasn't been out the game for a couple years. But even still, I think this is a good talking point to garner as a means of discussion, just to put it in a light that we may have to start addressing this. Make sure y'all can see it. Okay, yeah, y'all can see it.
Is this good boots? I mean, obviously good boots, but how much of it was good boots versus good matchup?
I think it was both, Max. I think it was really, look, you have to give Boots a lot of credit, right? Because if you're fighting somebody that's not on your level, you want to see that. He picked him apart, didn't play with his food. So all credit to Boots. He's a fantastic fighter. Now, Eddie Hearn is saying this guy is unbeatable from anywhere from 154 to 168. Like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. And I understand that Eddie Hearn, it's your job, and he's doing a great job of pumping up Boots. But why did Boots need this tune-up fight? I know it's his first fight at 54. Guess who Devin Haney's fighting in his first fight at 47? Brian Norman. I don't think Boots needed it, and I think really it's a waste of time when you talk about guys that are fighting twice a year. This is Boots' prime at 28 years old. Why waste the time on this level of opponent?
I'm not gonna lie, that was the wrong clip, but it still brings up a good point. That again, some of y'all brought up as well. People think that this is a waste of time. Even though I've said tune-ups, y'all already know the deal. But still, in comparison, with Devin Haney fighting likes of Brian Norman Jr., and even before that, with every time he's gone up to a new division or a new spot, remember, Devin Haney fought who? Progress in his first fight at 140 and put that brother down twice. And so, like, the stigma, or standard, not stigma, standard rather, for greatness in comparison to the other people who are surrounding the world of Boots. Yeah, we do need to see him pick up the pace. You are in your prime. People out of their prime have been taking some more chances than you. Where's your luster? We got Arizona and Lara fighting to defend his belt against Janibek, which now I believe just got confirmed, or at least got confirmed that they're getting ready to talk about it. Or they're in the talking stages to put that fight together. I think it's almost confirmed. So, like, hey, what's going on? I get it. Absolutely. So I'm with you all in that vein that we need to watch and we need to see proven work. That, yeah, he's got the goods. I am with you there. My whole thing is I'm going to be on the forefront to say he can do it. And I do truly think he will. But again, that's on him. My belief in him with what his abilities can bring him are all just beliefs until they become reality. I can break it down the best I can. He's got to show it. But I think he can show it. And if he does show it, 140 has the potential to be a very easy breeze. And if that's the case, he could fight Crawford and move up after accomplishing everything he wants to do at 154. Especially if he goes the inner-way route of fighting quick and in a hurry. He goes that route, Yeah, he can get up there before Crawford gets too far gone. And again, the other clip I was going to try to play is let me see if I can go to the actual page and try to find it. But he was essentially saying that does Crawford need to face him before he gets elevated to that level? And here it is. And this will be the last clip before we go back to championship rounds and other conversations in the water box and so forth. But let me read what y'all got to say first. Young Guns, no more tune-ups. Yep, you're absolutely right. No more tune-ups at all. We got to see this man shine bright against the biggest of things. And also, this is what we want this strictness in mentality, because guess what that means now? Boots' back is against the wall because now everybody sees you now. So you can't go through and be lax in where you're going to move and how you go about fighting. You can't do it. You can't. You just can't. You got to go and fight now. Because now everybody's saying, yeah, there's no more excuses. Now everybody's saying there's no need of waiting. Now everybody sees the same thing that many of you all in the chat were saying, and I was skeptically trying to, I'm not going to say push back against, but I was tentatively justifying the tune-up, which again, only one tune-up was what I wanted. He got it. But now, yeah, y'all got all the right to say, we better not see you against an average fighter again. We see you against anybody that is not top 6. We got a problem, or got a belt. We got a problem. Xander Zayas, you need to fight him. Fundor, you need to fight him. Backwam, you need to fight him. Ortiz, you need to fight him. Adams, because of the fact that he beat Bochuk. If he gets in a position to be ranked, or I think he's already in a position to potentially be ranked high enough for an opportunity for a title, you get a belt, or you get to a point where you got to go through him, guess what? You got to go through Adams. Shoot, if Bochuk gets back up there, you got to go through him too. It don't matter who. But you got to do it. And if you do clean out 154, like we were saying beforehand, brother, oh my gosh. That's pound for pound level talk with this depth in competition. And you become undisputed as well. Yeah, that's going to be impressive. We've been saying this for months. He cleans out 154, brother. We're going to say this man's a different beast. He goes through this ringer. He goes through this. He goes through this forest of despair, filled with trees and monsters abounding all throughout the division. And he comes out unscathed. Oh my gosh. That would be incredible. But guess what? Now, the run starts. The run starts. And you better commit to it. Because if you don't, Boots, you'll get put down quick. You'll get put down and or left in the dust. In fact, forget Charlo. If I was Boots, forget Charlo. Charlo got to work his way back up to 160 anyway. Forget him. You need to only be worried about the champions or the top 5. If Charlo want to come up, but guess what, buddy? You beat him when he proves himself. Because even for this, what I'm expecting from Boots right now, Charlo ain't going to be something that's impressive to me. Not because Charlo isn't a good fighter, but because he's, again, the inactivity, coupled with the still unanswered questions about him in his return, coupled also with the fact that he ain't even in contention for a belt at this point in time. You got work to do. Don't mess around with him. He's going to be a big name regardless. But guess what? You need to go through this top tier now. So keep that standard strict. Keep it strict. Keep it strict. Because if you keep it strict, guess what? You're going to force that buddy to keep on achieving more dangerous greatness, which is what we want to see. That's what we want to see. That's exactly what we want to see. Anyway, his first fight at 122 beat Fulton. Exactly. So he's going up against, again, the way he's being talked about, others who have been talked about in the same way. When they moved up to, okay, it's time for the heavy hitters. It's time to, the point in your career where everything about you gets solidified as a legacy or starts to really foundationally be put on as a legacy, now that's when the real work starts. And they started out their race running and gunning. Running and gunning. And we're looking at you saying, hey, we got some questions because you ain't doing what these other greats have done or these other great fighters have done when it was time for you to start really planting your flag as a legacy in the sport. And we want you to be great, so you got to do it. So yeah, you know, all right. Hold that standard strictly still. Let's see, Boots would be the favorite against anyone in 154, in my opinion. It's right now, it's hard to disagree because of where the outlook of Boots is right now for the vast public eye. Purists probably know there's going to be some real 50-50 fights coming up there. There's going to be some real 50-50 fights on paper that are going to be skewed in Boots' favor. I get that. But I'm not going to say like I don't not understand, because I do why that would be the case. But telling you, one performance can change the outlook of you for the whole of a population. This performance, even though we know I'm not trying to differentiate fans, but even though we know as people that follow the sport, LIMA is not up there. There's got a lot of people saying, Boots, hey, you belong up there because of how you handle it. So I'm not gonna say I don't understand it, because I do. Why they probably have him favored against everybody else. And so I know it's early, but he looks special. Yeah, no, I get it. I completely understand it. Honestly, I'm of that same vein. He looks incredibly special. He's continuing the same success that he did against most of his opponents at 154, at 147, now at 154. Again, even without some of the pitfalls defensively that I have for him earlier in his career at 154. So, like, it's a great sign. It's a really great sign. Hopefully he's back in with the next, 5-6 months. Because he ain't barely take no damage. He should be able to go on and back-to-back. Hey, let's get it on. March. Hey, you should be well and good. Hey, let's get this fight going. I would love to see that if that took place. But again, before I forget, let me quickly play this clip of what they say on Inside the Ring as kind of the last talking point with Boots before we go into the championship rounds for this show. Can y'all see it? Yes, you can. Let's play it right here.
Up into the position where it makes sense for Crawford to fight him.
Hold on. There we go.
But if he does all that stuff and eventually blows himself up into the position where it makes sense for Crawford to fight him, at that point, Crawford is 40 years old.
I'm about to say that,
and
yes.
Boots is in his prime. So
Yeah.
let me tell you something wild right now. I think Crawford should fight him right now if he's ever going to fight him. If he wants to, if Crawford has it in his mind
To fight
to
Boots, it
fight
should be
Boots,
now.
you might as well do it now. What did Floyd Mayweather do with Canelo Alvarez? Now Canelo was already an enormous draw, and that's the difference. But he didn't wait till he got super old, and Canelo entered his prime.
No, he fought
He
him
got
early.
him right then.
But are we talking business right now? Because if you're Boots, right? And I guess the thing for Canelo is Floyd made some good money there. Canelo had a nice following. Is there a super big following for Boots outside of just the boxing world?
That's what Max is saying. The market is not that
I know,
big.
but what I'm saying is like, so the money was like, if I'm Crawford, would I jump out there and fight? Because Boots ain't no easy fight. Is the risk worth the reward? You know what I'm saying?
The answer right now is no.
I think Boots is probably a little bit bigger than we're giving him credit for commercially, especially after this performance.
grown
And
in
I
the
think
last
if you
week,
fight
yes.
Crawford, it would rise to a level. After Crawford's win over Canelo on Netflix, I think people do want to see this fight. Is it a mega fight? Maybe not, but I do think it's a very commercially viable fight.
So, with this whole conversation, as you can see with the clip being played, should we potentially look at, hey, Crawford, if you get in a position to take him out early, go on and take him out. Now, again, he brings up the Floyd Mayweather situation with Canelo Alvarez. It's a little bit different because, again, Canelo wasn't Canelo wasn't, after that fight, you saw again the ebbs and flows, the change and all that stuff with him turning into, again, the dominant middleweight, super middleweight that we knew afterwards, becoming undisputed twice, all that stuff. Phenomenal work. I get it. But he was, one, a lot younger. I believe he was a lot younger than Boots, and still not as close to that pinnacle zenith that kick-started when he got beat by Floyd. Boots is closer to his absolute prime than Canelo when he fought against Floyd Mayweather at that age. Understand? At least if I'm following the timeline of boxing correctly for both of their careers. Again, Boots is 27, 28 years old. He's, again, as he's filling out now, we're seeing the best of his physical stature at this point start to unfold. From where he was a couple years ago to where he is now, there is a big difference in what he's fighting like and how good his understanding of the sport is. Great. Similar to Benavidez and Canelo. When Canelo, I was saying, needed to fight Benavidez before he got to a point that he was well and good, yeah, he's going to be able to take you out. Now, both of them, Canelo was still in his prime when Benavidez was getting into his prime. Once Benavidez got into his prime, Canelo was also still in his prime. And then it became a 50-50. And then the longer we saw Benavidez and Canelo not fight, what happened? The skew of talent, or the skew of opinion of talent, started changing, at least for me, and going towards Benavidez. Because I was saying, okay, yeah, he's got the goods to beat him. But again, Canelo was still in his prime. Crawford, we don't know when his prime is going to end. I get that. Also, for Crawford's legacy, unlike with Canelo, he doesn't need Boots. He doesn't need Boots to fight. Not because, oh, that's a fight we don't need to see happen, but because, again, his biggest wins are Spence and Canelo. And that Canelo win went on and validated every other excuse, or went on and invalidated, every excuse that anybody had for the past wins of Crawford, who also fought Amir Khan, Sean Porter, Arizona Lara, who's now fighting Janibek for the unified titles at 160, who's knocked out the last 5 opponents since his debut at 160 and since becoming a champion. He's been, all of a sudden, Victor Postal is looking mighty good to a lot of people. Ricky Burns is getting some respect now from people, all because of that win against Canelo, validating everything else that he had done when initially everything was coming into question. Top 10 pound for pound, all time for me, is where Crawford is as a fighter. He doesn't need to fight Boots in the same vein that Benavidez needs to fight, or that Canelo needs to fight Benavidez, because of where they both have been set up. Not because Canelo's legacy isn't already set in stone, but again, Crawford has already X'd out the non-negotiables in his career. When it comes to, you can't go out throughout your career without fighting. You can't. He's already, he did that. He done that. Which is why he's where he is right now. Well, Canelo has. If that fight with Boots does take place, great. Phenomenal. Not going to hang my hat on it. I'm not going to say that, oh yeah, Boots is going to be able to beat him. But I am going to say that because that is on the horizon, and because what looks like to be the trajectory that Crawford's going to take with fighting at 160, now we have to say, okay, this is a reality that can take place. And if it is a reality that can take place, if it does become a potential opportunity to actually happen, it might be smarter, for the sake of preserving not just the best fight, but the best opportunity for Crawford to win definitively. while still having everything that we know he has as a fighter. Because again, we don't know, the bottom drops out for everybody differently. Some people can go to 38, 39, 40, 42 years old. Others, one day it's just gone, like it did with Pacquiao. One day his prime was just gone. It was just gone. He was good up until he wasn't against Ugas. Came back, did a great job against Barrios, but still he ain't the same as he was when in that fight with Keith Thurman, which was the last great performance of Pacquiao's career, to my remembrance. This is a situation where Crawford, doesn't need to look for that fight with Boots. But if that fight becomes something that's on the table, for the sake of fighting Boots when he's still at his best, it might be better to fight him sooner rather than later. And I get the logic that Max is saying, but I'm not saying that we need to look for that fight to happen. Not saying that. Because again, he got so much business to handle at 154 in terms of Boots. We may not ever see that fight with Boots versus Crawford. I completely understand that. Because that's work and a half. That's time and a half trying to go and fight that division of 154. But in the off chance that that becomes a reality, it might be smart that, the second that fight gets a real potential opportunity to happen, it becomes a tangible reality. Take it and don't make the same mistake that Canelo made with Benavidez, where if you go and wait too long, you can potentially wipe out your best chances of beating him. Not just because he got better in terms of your opponent, but because you, as a fighter, aren't where you used to be, where you could have done the things you needed to do to beat him. It's a real possibility. But let me keep on reading. Canelo versus Boots as a fight. Well, actually, that brings up a great opportunity to go into the world of the championship rounds, since we're going to start asking about other fights beyond the scope of just Boots and Crawford. Hey, it's time to work. It's time to shine. Let's see what y'all got winning the championship rounds. I want to hear from you. And let y'all drive the conversation for the next 30 minutes to about an hour. What do you all think, not just on the topic of Boots versus Crawford, Boots versus Canelo, anything in terms of the world of boxing or beyond as a whole that we can discuss, as well as discussing some other things that come up in that I also have as points of discussion in the world of boxing, as to other news, other events, changes in certain cards coming about, still previewing November 22nd with what's still, even without Artur Beterbiev on that card versus Nicholson, still going to be seen as the biggest card, or one of the biggest cards of the year. Oh yeah, it's going to be great, but I want to hear from you all on anything and everything in the world of sports as a whole or beyond that you all got to say. So let's get it going. Let's get it popping. Let's see what you got to say, and let's jump right in to the world of the championship rounds right now. So Love King, Canelo versus Boots. As a conversation, at 168, I'm not even looking remotely that far, because both of them, both Crawford and Canelo, they both getting up there, especially Crawford or Canelo, were having more mileage on him than nearly everybody else in the sport in boxing ages, for the sense of almost 70 fights. I think almost over 70 fights, actually. He's been through the ringer. And so, I'm not even going to be able to say that, that fight could even happen. Only way that could be the case is if Canelo either dropped down and Boots said, hey, if you can beat him, I can beat him, and move up them. But even then, because Boots ain't got nothing to offer, because he ain't got no belts to his name, and because his cachet is still where it's at, and even with it being bigger now, most likely that fight ain't going to happen. However, it would be interesting to see if that fight did take place, and who would win. I would take Canelo. Because again, we can say, oh yeah, if Boots can do it, or if Crawford can do it, yeah, Boots could beat Canelo as well. No, I ain't saying that. I am not saying that. What Crawford did to Boots is a completely different breed, from the sense of talent, ability, and outright all-time greatness. Just because Crawford could do it does not mean anybody else in the world could actually do that same level of phenomenon. I'm not going to put Boots in that same category either. With all the special stuff that I see about him, yeah, it's great and whatnot. I'm not going to say that he can do that same thing. Because again, that he's got to be proven. Just like he's got to be proven with Crawford. Now, if it gets to that point and that fight can actually take place, we'll see what happens. We'll see where they both are in their careers from a talent and ability perspective. Because again, then Canelo will be 38. And if we're already saying he's on a decline, there could be even a bigger decline by the time that fight comes about at 168 if Boots gets up there. He says he wants to, but will he? We got to wait and see. Will he be able to achieve once he gets up there? Even before he gets up there, we're going to have to wait and see. But don't mean that it can't happen. Though it's a very, very big long shot. But I'm not going to pick him against Canelo. I'm going to do that, even though we knew what Crawford did to him. Boots is not Crawford. Yes, they sparred, but even still. Errol Spence versus, now, this is a good, now hold on. Now this is completely in the other perspective. This is completely the other way. This Errol Spence versus Boots is completely the opposite of Canelo versus Boots, in my opinion. Errol Spence does not need to go anywhere near Boots Ennis right now. Nowhere close. At 154 specifically, he doesn't need to do a doggone thing. If anything, we need to see Errol Spence just fight a bump, just to see what he's like in any way, shape, or form in this world of boxing. Because right now, this cat is looking everywhere but inside the ring. He's training or he's on vacation. He's coming back or he ain't coming back at all. We don't know what's going on. Understandably so, because he's kept everything close to the chest, but at the same time, but if at some point we're all saying, hey man, hey there, the world is your issue from the standpoint of what you're gonna do. What the world you're gonna do? Are you ever gonna actually come back, or are you just gonna be sitting on the sidelines yet again, teasing? Are you done? Are you still? It's like when Gennady Golovkin for a couple years was not retired, but also wasn't fighting at all. And we were just asking, where is he? This is that same situation. Where is Spence? Unless Spence can show me, yeah, I'm back. Well, I'm where I need to be. Nah, I'm not going to say that this brother's going to be able to beat him. No way. No way. No way. No way. Am I going to say that Spence is going to be able to beat Boots Ennis at 154? No, sir. And that's not because I'm disrespecting Spence. We all are asking the same question. Just like we were asking with Charlo when Charlo was out the ring for almost 3 years. Brother, we don't even know what you're like right now. Let alone against the best or one of the best talents in a division that you haven't even debuted in yet. You're doggone right, I'm a little bit skeptical of what the world you can do as a fighter to show me that, yeah, you really are about that smoke, and rather you still got it like you need to have it going up against one of the bigger talents in all of the division. I ain't saying that. I am not saying that at all. That would be a massacre. Oh, that'd be hard. Oh, gosh, that'd be terrible. At this Spence, that would be terrible. Oh, my gosh, that would be terrible. I'm low-key kind of happy that he didn't fight against Sebastian Fundora with how Sebastian Fundora is looking in terms of Errol Spence Jr. Because, brother, everybody in this division, since you said you needed to move up there, has gotten better while you have been out and about. Whether it's with recovery or whether it's with your family, which again, I have no problem with. Hang out with your family. Do what you got to do. But if you are still going to tease that you're coming back, if you're still going to talk like you come back, if you're still going to have the mentality that, yeah, I'm still going to be able to do what I need to do against everybody else in the division. Well, guess what? Comparatively, we're going to say the same stuff. Hey, brother, you got to prove something. You got to put up or shut up. And right now, you've shut up. You have shut up in terms of your own light of what you're going to do in the sport. So we ain't about to put you in the execution chamber going up against Boots Ennis or anybody at 154 right now. Unless you show something, just any framework of skill against even the fodder of this division. 'Cause right now, man, I got low hope. I'm not gonna lie, I got some low hope for this brother going forward. Because he just, ooh, buddy. It ain't, no. I'm just to keep it simple. Spence does not need to go and fight Boots Ennis at all. Spence did fight Boots Ennis at 154. I'll be incredibly impressed. And you know what? You'll never hear me question my heart. Or you never hear me question Will Spence's heart. I never did in the first place. I'm going to even further stamp that, yeah, this brother was a dog. Or he was the big fish and he went after everybody. Tried to eat everybody. Oh, yes, he did. Tried to go and chomp through the entirety of multiple divisions. He went after all the big dogs. The brother, at the same vein, I'm going to say, well, he did go after him. Because he ain't going to after nobody after that fight if he fights Boots now. We're going to talk about everything in the past because this brother's going to be gone if he fights Boots. He ain't getting point in time today. Unless he proves that he's got still some skills in the tank against some other competition. I'm not picking that brother against anybody else. But still, we got some more stuff in the world of boxing that we can cover while we're going through the championship rounds. Even still, as we go back through the old picture-in-picture, we got a bunch of news with a bunch of different talking points that have been made. In lieu of, like I said earlier, Laura and Janibek are going to indeed fight each other for unification this year. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it's happening. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. What is this? Oh, that was one of the files I was copying through for the system. But yeah, but not. It's happening. It's real. It's here. And it's going to be so much fun. Janibek versus Laura, two of some of the strongest power punch. Yeah, no, it's crazy to say, but two of some of the strongest power punchers in the division are about to go against each other to unify the belts, both the IBF and the WBO. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be crazy enough. It's gonna be on the undercard of Isaac Cruz versus Lamont Welch. But this fight is going most likely to steal the show. I can almost guarantee it. Now it's hard to say with an Isaac Cruz fight because Isaac Cruz, every fight that he's in, normally takes away from the competition. Normally. Because of the fact that he's just so violent with how much he just goes after you, hooking left, right, and center. Most of the time, he's got the most exciting fight of the night. Yeah, that is true. But in this sense, this fight, this is going to be a war. And I want to hear, and we're going to have some time to talk about this later on in the show. I would love to hear your early opinions on who you think is going to win this fight. Because now, this is going to be a situation where Janibek, I don't think, to my knowledge, I don't think he's facing somebody like Laura. Yes, Laura is 42 years old. I understand that. Currently the oldest champion of the boxing. But he has traded away his fleet-footed counter-punching defense to all of a sudden a flat-footed counter-punching defensive style. And this brother has now garnered the ability to still be slick, still be great defensively, but now he's able to do it in a destructive fashion rather than in a finesse fashion. Brother, that has put people to shame. It's put people to shame. This man, this is going to be a good fight. This is going to be a great fight. I can't wait to see this fight take place. Because this is going to be a war. It's going to be a war like you wouldn't believe. Janibek, I'm telling you, Janibek is going to be a brother who is going to potentially get pushed to a level he ain't been pushed at before. He says everybody's scared of him. He says he's too much of a contest for anybody to be able to dominate, which up until this point has been true. But Laura has become somebody who, with the pedigree of finesse and technique, now back with a better level of power, with the wisdom that he's garnered from fighting all throughout his career. Oh, yeah. This has become a perfect storm for the old dog to all of a sudden dethrone the young lion as the top dog in all of the division of 160. And ooh, buddy, if he wins that, most likely again winner of this, as we're looking at the word of Terrence Crawford going down the line, he could be something serious. He could be something serious. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it because this fight is going to technically steal the show. I do think for the entirety of this night. And somebody's going to sleep. Here's the thing. I don't care who you got favored. Somebody going down. Somebody's going down in this fight. There is not. Look, I'm telling you, somebody's going down in this fight. Somebody's going down in this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if this fight ended in a knockout. Because you're dealing with long, lanky, destructive power in the likes of Janabek, and you dealing with the trap master in the likes of Lara, who will be able to still use that defensive ability to go and goad you into now. Or excuse me, he's a southpaw. That straight left, that boy has been all of a sudden been blessed by the gods to be able to put people down at the heart, in a heartbeat. I'm talking about, I don't know where this hammer came from, but brother, it comes down hard on everybody that he hits. Everybody. Whether they're washed or whether they're actually competitive. That hammer of a left hand has become one of the most dangerous weapons in all of 160. And both of these people, I believe with both of them being southpaws, boy, they're going to be primed and ready. It's going to be straight down the pipe. Both of them trading with each other, trying to find the same open window. I promise you, this is going to lead to some explosive fights. This is going to lead to some explosive fights. I can't wait. I cannot wait at all. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say on the matter as we're still in the championship rounds thus far. Let me see. Ramon Vasquez, I'm talking about. Oh, okay. So you were talking about Juwan Ennis when you were discussing that he didn't have enough credentials. Okay, that's fine. That perfectly understandable. He was unified at 160 against a good opponent in Stanionis, but at 154, unproven. With the amount of fights that he's had, you would think he would have more of a robust, accolade-driven resume. But even still, the run starts now, and we're going to see if he actually achieves. I can respect that to the fullest. Let me see. Zayas is Zayas is a chap, but hasn't shown much with poor opponents, just like Juwan. To some degree, that's true. Now, I know that Juwan has had better opponents than Xander Zayas. I do know that for a fact. I'm not saying that his career is also above the likes of Zayas. Because again, Zayas is the youngest champion in boxing right now. I get that. Boots hasn't been around for a lot longer. And it's just naturally had more fights. I understand. So I'm not going to play that comparison game. Because what Xander Zayas is doing right now is impressive with him, again, getting a title at such a young age. Mind you, just a couple of years, just 2 years ago? 1 or 2 years ago, we were hearing this man's name as one of the hottest prospects in all of 160. Now, he's got a belt. Before he's turning like 23. That's impressive. Not going to diminish that. But what I am going to say is that when it comes to this fight, Zayas might be faced with a chance to fight Boots, even if he's not ready. Because if what Boots is saying about going to get titles is real, and with the amount of money that he can bring to not just those belts, but also to the sport as a whole in this division, yeah. If he wants to go the easy route, if he doesn't go after a boss, the next best brother, who you know you'll get a belt from, to bring into all of the other major fights that would come down the line, would be Zayas. And if I'm picking between two people that have questions about their proven ability, I'm picking Ennis. If that fight did take place. Because that, ooh, buddy. Ooh. I know Zayas ain't ready for that. This ain't me being a fan. This is just straight up like if people, we watch, we know this. We know Zayas ain't ready for it. But he's in a position to fight him regardless because he's got one of the straps. He's got one of the belts. And when the Pied Piper calls, either you answer the call, you got the power to be able to run from it. If you have enough cachet, and Zayas just doesn't have that yet, not right now. Like we know he doesn't have that right now. So it could get sketchy. Could get really sketchy. But yeah, no, Jerron, in terms of your statement of Jerron not being as proven, he hasn't been proven up to the level that we needed him to be proven at. It's a long way of saying he still got work to do. Because it's been hype. Sometimes it goes through and it's, okay, yeah, he did it. Other times, where are you going with your career? It's been like that. He still won every fight, but it has been a somewhat shaky road of consistency in qualitative opponents for where his caliber of talent is as a fighter. In some degree due to his own volitions. Now, in a position to make all of that wipe away and to prove himself against the best of the best in competition. And if there's any, and we just need to, only we can say, we need to see it. We need to see it. We're excited to see it, but my gosh, the quicker it's able to happen, the better it is for everybody. I ain't gonna lie. The better it is for everybody if it can happen as quick as possible. There was one more. There was another thing I was going to touch on. For this fight, I almost forgot. Where's that? It's hold on. That's what it was. It was O'Shaquie Foster versus Stephen Fulton. Somebody had brought up Stephen Fulton earlier in the show. Oh, yeah, talking about how anyway had beaten Stephen Fulton. Well, since he beat Stephen Fulton, he's now become a champion at 126 and was slated to fight O'Shaquie Foster on the undercard of Thurman versus Fundora. However, now, if I got my thing right, that fight also got moved to the undercard of Welch versus Cruz. And it could have been that he got his own main event. That would have been a pretty good main event from the standpoint of O'Shaquie Foster versus Stephen Fulton for the title at what was it? Is it 130? Is it 130? No. It's shoot, what weight was this fight at? Let me see. Hold on. What weight was it? This fight was gonna be at? He beat Taken 135. He moved up. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Lamont Roach. This fight with O'Shaquie Foster is for super featherweight. Okay, it's for the WBC super featherweight title. At one, okay, yeah, so this is at 126. Okay, all right. Let me make sure now. No, it's at 130. I'm so sorry. No, it's at 130. Yeah, I forgot. It's at 130. I'm so sorry. It is at 130. I completely missed one. It's at 130, and Fulton is moving up from 126 after winning and beating his Figueroa to fight O'Shaquie Foster, who is the current 130-pound champion. Now, undisputed, but I believe he got the WBC belt. And so now, this is a step up into the deep end of talent at a new division. So, yeah, I can't wait for that fight. I am shocked that that fight wasn't done on its own main event. I believe that was going to be, it could have been the main event in light of Fundor and Keith Thurman getting canceled or having the injury, as it was reported earlier. But now, they get moved on under the Eastside Cruz fight with Lamont Roach. And I'm asking, are they ruining the momentum that Stephen Fulton could have garnered with being one of the top stars in the sport? Yes, even off the backs of that loss to, in a way. Because the brother can talk, he can sell. He's had viral moments like with the Timberlands in the ring, Timberlands and jeans. Right now, that very outfit is in the Boxing Hall of Fame, which is insane to say. But it's the truth. He has some stock. He's moving up and challenging tough competition. He beats O'Shaquie Foster all of a sudden. Hey, brother. You one step up away from fighting the likes of Shakur Stevens. Or dare I say even Tank Davis if Tank gets back in the ring after Jake Paul, which again we still don't know. But of that Mr. 150, not 150, of 135, you want to win away from going through and skyrocketing, hypothetically being talked in those, or at least in the vicinity of some of those big names. I feel like they're dropping the ball a little bit. And I feel like they're kind of dropping the ball a little. On both of them. I'm being honest, both of them. PBC, when it comes to marketing, both Fulton and Foster, both of whom should have a pretty more substantial drive in the public eye, at least in my estimation. But either way, it's the way the cookie crumbles. But man, seems like a little bit of wasted opportunity, don't you think? At least in my estimation. But I still would like to hear from you all. But let me keep on reading what you all I have to say. Juwan has been challenging everyone, but when the opportunity came, he pulled out. Juwan, believe in your skills. Fight everyone, win or lose. That's what the people want to see. And yeah, and again, remember, you're bringing up a great point. We talked about when he was fighting, thought he was going to fight Virgil Ortiz. Then that whole debacle with, did he accept it? Did he not accept it? You got people that you can fight, but you ain't doing it. You had an opportunity. Then you're saying you want 1 2-0 fight. Then you want 2. Then reportedly you wanted 3. All that stuff. It is and was incredibly frustrating. It was a part of the reason why fans started turning their backs on him. Don't forget that. It's part of the reason why we were having fans starting to come through and say, do I really want to like this brother? People in the chat come in all the time. Man, what's this guy doing? In fact, it went from people saying that I was too harsh. You say me bragging, say me doing that, but we had people to see the ebbs and flows of the timeline of change in people's opinions on Boots. Initially, people were coming in, and when I was critiquing Boots after the Sugar John fight, there were some people that thought it was a lot of hate and vitriol against Boots that was ill-deserved. And all of a sudden, they're coming back in and saying, I'm tired of Boots. I'm tired of talking about Boots. We don't know what he's going to do. He's too unpredictable from the standpoint of career trajectory. He doesn't know what he wants. All of these questions, I'm sick of it. It changed quick. People got antsy, agitated, frustrated, unnerved at the what's the word? They got unnerved at the uncertainty of what Boots was going to do and what he wanted to be as a fighter. Though we had what he said on paper or on Twitter when he was saying 154, 160, 168, 175, shoot, even 147, I want to become undisputed. He said it for all those divisions. And then when he started moving up, need to wait a little bit. After hyping up, when I get bigger, I'm going to be an even more demonstrative fighter, all that stuff. Hey, people were starting to say, hey, man, we calling your bluff. The world you trying to do, we're sick of this roller coaster. Now, winning heals all wounds. All of a sudden now he's the hottest ticket in town. After this fight with Lima, all of a sudden, shock and awe. The captive nature of what he's able to do in the ring made everybody almost forget what he was doing before this fight. Even out the backs with after the Stanion situation. And now it's the hype of, hey man, we can't wait to see what he can do. We love him. We appreciate him. We want to see more from him. It's, like I said, fans, fickle. To some degree. And hey, if you want to put me in that boat, perfectly fine. Now, mind you, what I was saying, changing my tune, I'm still keeping the same standard to standard. But when you answer questions that I had for you, okay, then I change what I got to say. I have no issue with that. You proved me something that I didn't think you had in you. So I got to say, hey, I was wrong. In this situation, I was wrong in what I think he can, well, not I was wrong, but now I'm more valid in my opinion of what I think you can do for this division. Though you still needed to prove that there was something there. And I also can acknowledge there's still more work to be done because you, even though there's again, the ceiling's up here, the ceiling's off the screen, you still got to fight. And you still got to win. You still got to go and accomplish it. Let's hope this train keeps on going. And let's hope these wins not just wash away the old identity of what we thought Boots was as a fighter, but it also helps to dictate, hey, this man isn't just a new man, but this brother is the real deal. And he's got the accolades to prove it. That's what we hope that we see. But let me see. For sure, what's going on with you? Hey, man, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on it. We are still in the championship rounds. We're still in from you all, talking about everybody in the world of boxing as a whole. We want your opinions and thoughts on all of it and everything that you got to say on the matter. Let's see what you got to say right now. Hopefully we won't have to change his name to Javon Tank Ennis. Hopefully not. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that you have to understand. We're so adamant we're talking about Boots after this fight because we know that this can easily be a fork in the road that can go the Tank route like that at the drop of a hat. This can easily go the Tank route, which is what we don't want at all. Again, I don't want to keep bringing up Tank. I know. I'm not trying to. But we have to paint this picture properly so everybody can get an understanding of what's going on. We don't want this fight to turn into a Tank situation. Or we don't want this fighter, to turn into a Tank situation. You know why? Because with Tank, got a great win, was the talk of the town, and then he fell into not just obscurity, but outright belligerent upheaval, hard-headedness, and didn't even try to go through and push the envelope on what his career could be. Even after he had proved, okay, yeah, you belong. Even after that. And so when that happened, all we were saying was, hey, man, the same question we were asking about Boots. We were asking about Tank under similar circumstances, under a similar record. Dare I say under a similar age, even though Tank and Boots are different. Boots is younger than Tank. Boots also has more fights than Tank, I believe. Yeah, he's got more fights than Tank, even though he's younger than Tank. But the same stuff was starting to perpetuate when Tank was coming up like he was coming up. Way bigger star, understandable. A global empire of a name, completely justifiable. one of the biggest names in the sport, unquestioned in the whole of boxing. Everybody knew who Tank was as a star. And so I'm not fighting that. But when that happened, the same issues of the situation applied, and the man failed the test. For the sense that he failed to keep his word on what needed to happen, on what could transpire, on what his own career could be, on what we expected. And we never got the answers that we were looking for. With Boots, all the talent in the world, can potentially be a top 5 fighter in the world. If he goes and does this undisputed run like he's trying to do, and he actually does accomplish it, he can become number 1 in the world. Undisputed in multiple divisions, cleaning out in the way that he's talking now, that he wants to clean it out. He can become number 1 in the world. He can. That's not me trying to be fanboy. That's legit. If he actually goes through 154 and then goes through 160 to become undisputed, you'll be hard pressed to tell anybody that would not deserve a number 1 pound for pound rank, regardless of what fandom level you're in, because that's just ridiculous for anybody, especially with the depth in division that is at 154. If anybody goes through this division at 154 and comes out on the other side as the top dog, you're doggone right. That's going to get him at minimum top 5 honors. Because it's a hard division. He does that twice, all of a sudden, hey, you'd be hard pressed to say that he wouldn't be considered number 1 in the world. That would be all. That would be, or at least tied. If you still got Crawford there or Usyk there, he's tied with one of them. Or anyway, he's in that top 3, top 4 conversation. Because he would deserve it. But he's got the ability, and we all see it, that, hey, we know you can answer these questions. We know that you can go about and attempt this. We're not saying you're going to achieve it, but you can attempt it. You can go after it. You can go and try. The work is there for you to do, and we know you can actually do the work. More than just attempt to be great. You can actually be great. You can actually go through and do this stuff. You can actively achieve all of these big roadblocks that we say you have in your career of big time opponents. You can beat them. We're not saying that you're going to, but we're saying you actually can. And your star power is enough that as it builds, we know that you're going to get the ability to be able to call your shots like some of the other biggest names in the sport. Because we're seeing your career start to mold in that same way as some of the other big names who have that level of power. So with all of that being understood under the moniker of what Boots can be, the potential got squandered because they stopped trying to be everything that we knew they could be. And they got complacent. They got lax. They got lazy. They became very much blasé in their willingness to go through and say, I don't need to do the work because I got the work already done. And what did that lead to? Everything under the sun going haywire. Everything going bad. And now the sport is leaving those types of fighters behind, like Tank Davis and like others in the world of boxing. It's a crying shame. Because we don't want Boots to go down that same road, we are adamantly saying, hey, brother, don't be like them. We talk like we do because we're saying you are right there to get what they didn't get. You're right there to get what Tank didn't get. You're right there to do what Tank was too scared to do. You're right there to do what some of the other biggest names in the sport were either failed in their attempts to accomplish, or even worse, they didn't even try to accomplish. They sat out. They left. They sat on their money. They were sticking with the fodder of competition than fighting the people on their level. You didn't test yourself because you got comfortable, too comfortable. All of that right in your grasp on both ends of the spectrum. And my gosh, one bad decision can lead you down that same road that we have a frustration with when it comes to Tank Davis. One bad decision can lead you down that same road of absolute obscurity, isolation, and utter disregard, not just for the sport, but the fans also coming to you saying, hey, brother, we don't care about you. We're moving on. And we got David Benavidez right here. Why do we need to care about you? We got Crawford still doing all this work. Why do we need to care about you? We got Ennis. Dare I say in a couple of years, potentially becoming a 3-division undisputed champion. The word do we need to care about you for? With potentially Joshua Nakatani under his belt as a win. What the word do we need to care about you for? We got Ben Rodriguez, who's moving up quick and in a hurry. Getting ready to in a few years, I think maybe in even less than a year. After this fight on November 22nd, potentially he moves up to bantamweight and then super bantamweight. And all of a sudden he's playing catch up with Junto, and anyway, but doggone it, you see the streaks burning under his feet. Cause that cat's burning rubber. You got Abdullah Mason coming up. You got Shakur being one of the leaders of the next era. You got Teofimo Lopez, who's still around, now fighting, hopefully, looking to fight everybody. Especially if he beats the likes of Shakur, if they do fight next year. You got Floyd Schofield, who's right in the midst of everybody else at 135, who's still a vastly dangerous name. We got so much stuff to care about. Why should we care about you if you're going to move like Tank? That's the concern that I don't want to see happen when it comes to the landscape of Boots Ennis. And other people see that as well. They don't want that either. That's the biggest thing. That's why we're so adamant, because we know one bad misstep can cause that domino effect in the worst way possible to take hold. To take hold like that. Lord knows we can't take another one like that. Especially not with a talent like with Jaron Ennis. Especially not with like that. Oh, Lord, no. Can't have that happen. But let me see Ryan Graves. Hey, brother, Ryan Graves, what's going on with that? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Also, if you are tuning in already, please just quickly leave a like on the stream. Would help to support the show, help to blow it up to the algorithm. Let everybody know this is the hottest place to be in all the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. So you can make it happen. You can help make us greater and help to enjoy the ride with us as we're going through on the show. With you and your support, we can make this possible. So please keep on liking the stream. Keep on sharing the show. We are still in the championship rounds. We done hit the 2-hour mark. Now, so we got roughly 10 minutes left in the show before we're going to get on out of here. We appreciate all of your patience. We were coming up. There we go. Okay, now see. Now the stuff is working like it's supposed to. And now I can bring the stuff. I don't know why. I didn't say nothing. I wasn't able to do before. But now we got everything back fixed. Like I said, I was gone. So I was... But we got it back working now. So we good. But let me see what you got to say. We got to see Boots versus Magimov or Ortiz. And like we were saying earlier, he's going to fight Ortiz. I'm more confident now, that he's going to try to fight Ortiz next. I'm more confident now that he's going to try to fight Ortiz next. Now he's adamant. Now he's talking like Jaya Patai. When Jaya Patai was talking against Zerto and saying, hey, Zerto, where you at? We want that smoke. I want that smoke. Come see about me. Now, forget wait. He's talking with that type of de facto language. He wants that Ortiz fight now, which, great, phenomenal. As long as he sticks to keep on saying it, we can hold that to be true. If that thing don't happen now, though, the ball's in Ortiz's court. Oscar De La Hoya in Ortiz's court, because they got called out outright. And now we want to see if things transpire. And this is what we want. Like we said earlier, we want fighters to hold other fighters accountable and make it so that it's not in their hands to make or break a fight because the other opponent now has to make a decision. I can see that fight happening with Ortiz before anybody else. Because now, not only are people calling for it, but now people see that, yeah, it's a viable option. Especially after this fight with Lima, which again, we're not saying Lima is a world beater. We understand Lima is not on was not on his level. We understand that completely. At the same breath, we can also capitulate that fight is on the #1 list for every fan and expert to want to see transpire. Because that's the buddy we wanted to see Boots fight before anybody else. And now, it's a real reality that can happen. And the hype around him also makes business sense. And this could then lead to a world title opportunity. Ortiz is already a mandatory, so boom, a mandatory belt's on the line. There's something at stake, even though it ain't an actual belt. It's a position to get into a position, or it's the position to guarantee yourself a title. It's enough stakes and it's enough hype. People would pay to see that. Oh, yes, they would. People would absolutely pay to see that. People would absolutely pay to see that fight happen. No question about it in my estimation. And so I think Virgil splits his wig. Hey, we want the answers. We can talk about the fight itself later on. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I guarantee you, on Thursday, people going to come out the woodwork saying who they think is going to win. And we're going to have more time to be able to talk about that fight Thursday and Friday. Man, we do the show 3 days out the week on boxing and beyond. Oh, yes, we do. Don't forget, we also cover the NFL on this show. And we multifaceted. We cover the NBA. It's great. My team, Carolina beat the Cowboys. So I'm flying high right now. I'm flying good. We 500 for the first time since Cam was back in Carolina. We good. I feel great. But we're going to have more time to talk about the specifics of this fight with Ortiz and Ennis well and good later on. Right now, we just need to know one thing for certain. Boots calling out everybody and specifying Ortiz now has forced Ortiz in this camp. Now they got to make a move. Y'all gonna try to do something, or y'all gonna sit back? He took the ball out of Boots' hands and put it in Ortiz to make something transpire. And because of that now means they got a decision to make. Which once they commit to something, now we can start having real discussions on, okay, yeah, hey, we here now. One thing I do know, he put everybody on notice. He put everybody on notice that, hey, I'm not just a name. I'm real. Yeah, this brother wasn't on my level. You can call it matchmaking, that was easy. But the way I handled my business like I was supposed to was a way that even if all of y'all faced off against him, it might not be the same thing that y'all would handle him in that same way, except for maybe a couple people. So I'm different. I am different. If y'all want to see about me, come on. Because I'm ready for the smoke. That's all I care about. He called Bhagwan Barry Cat. He did. Like he was trying to find a name. And hey, look, Backwam, he been out for almost over a year. Dead silent. So I'm like, hey man, a couple people forgot about that brother's name. Not us, but a couple people. Now that he put him out on smoke, hey brother, I would love to see that fight. I would love to see Backwam versus Boots. For a title, absolutely. That'd be great. Ortiz is going down for sure. And see, already, we gotta hold this for next week. Because already we got a bunch of people coming in and drawing their line in the sand. Ortiz is going down. Nah, Boots ain't proved nothing. He's going down. There's about 8 different ways you can look at this fight. Shoot, it could be a draw for all we know. But what we now know is everybody feels the palpability of where Boots' skill level is. Even if you say he's still got to prove some more. There's no problem with saying that. But you can't say that he doesn't have something that these folks at 154 need to be worried about. You can't say that he does, even if you think he still needs to prove some stuff, you can't say that these folks better keep they better sharpen up. You can't say that this division ain't got somebody else that now isn't just a threat. But hey, there's a different type of energy around this brother. That whether you think this man's got the reputation or not necessary to deserve it, you can feel it. This ain't like the other champions at 154. This ain't like the other dogs at 154. And this is the most dog-filled division in all of boxing. At least one of them is one of the 3 biggest, most deep, and substantially talented divisions in all of boxing. And even amongst that breadth of a murderer's row of talent, guess what? Boots is starting to look like one of them other ones. He's starting to feel like one of them other elites that would stand out amongst everybody. Not just because of hype. Not just because of hype. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. Because like you said, it's time for find out season. It's time to put up or shut up. It's time to, hey, it's time. I'm going to make, as what did Undertaker used to always say to people? When he was in his American biker stick in the early 2000s, I'll make you famous. You test me, I'll make you famous. People won't forget about they'll know your name if you fight against me. Come on and disrespect if you want to. It's been a little bit like that. Not from the standpoint of, oh yeah, he's a legend already in the business. Not from that standpoint. But it's from the standpoint of like, hey, underestimate me if you dare. But even if you try to down talk what I can be, understand, you know that, hey, you better hope that you're right, that I'm not as good as you're saying I am. You better hope that I'm being overhyped. You better hope that all of this is just a fluke. You better hope that this man ain't nothing but a product of the machine. And you better hope that all this stuff that is around me right now in terms of Boots Ennis is indeed just that, noise without substance. Because if I get some substance under my name, boy, people gonna be, it can get bad. It can get bad. It can get bad. If I get some substance under my name, and all of a sudden I get proven, and I'm right, that this brother is indeed as bad of a brother as we think he is, man, people gonna start looking the other way. People gonna start not talking about Boots because they gonna say, I don't want that. Similar to when George Foreman and Tyson years later in an interview were saying, hey, we might have talked about each other, But Tyson said himself, I didn't want nothing to do with that monster in George Foreman. And Foreman said on Max Kellerman's show when you said Max on boxing, I didn't want nothing to do with that stick of dynamite that was Mike Tyson. I didn't want nothing to do with him. And I'm glad we didn't face off against each other. He said he would have whooped my butt if I had faced off against him. And Tyson said he would have whooped my butt if I had fought against him. Both of them were saying the same thing about each other. Because once they got some substance under them, hey, you got it. Do what you do. Leave me out of it. You're going to start seeing some people start to move in that same way. If this thing becomes real, I'm telling you. Let me see. No draw, somebody getting KO'd, and it ain't Boots. Hey, look, we're going to find out. Like I said, we're going to find out whether or not that's the case or not. Let me see. Don't the LIMA. Excuse me. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a second. Hold on a second. Let me compose myself. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. Don't the LIMA performance, or don't let the LIMA performance fool you. Virgil and Madrimov is more dangerous than Boots. The LIMA performance simply gave us a window when we were asking to answer the question, Boots, what will you look like at 154? Just to answer the question. Physically, what can you be? What is unlocked now that you're at 154? You're supposed to beat him. But will you be able to still do the same stuff that you've done in past weight classes at a bigger weight when more people are potentially closer to you physically? And he answered the question, at least physically, to say, hey, against an opponent that I'm supposed to be, whose talent I know I'm better than, I am able to still do the same stuff at a new division like I was doing in the old divisions. And I did it in an even worse fashion, in a more destructive fashion than I've done in even past divisions. And all that talk about me not being the fullest of extent of ability because I was weight drained, now it's looking like it's true. It's not proven against the best of the best, but at least that vein of can you still be the same monster at this division with more weight, being able to fill out? The answer is yes. We can say that for certain. Now that that's established, that was one of the biggest questions that people would need to have. To be able to say, can you actually compete against Virgil, against Boachuk, against Buckram, against Fundor, even against Keith Thurman? Now that the answer has been done and the answer is yes. Now, okay, all of y'all at 154, the biggest of big, the dogged of dogs, the most dominant of dominants when it comes to this division, y'all at the top, you have another person to be worried about. And very quickly, it can go from, we got to still wait and see against the biggest of big dogs like Virgil. It can very quickly go from, we don't know, he still ain't proven, we got it, we can't count our chickens yet, the brother still got work to do. It can very quickly go from that to most people saying, oh, okay, yeah, can't nobody touch this brother. Very quickly can go to that. Very quickly. If it's Virgil, his next fight, all this talk can end by his next fight. All of this talk can end. Come March or April, this talk can be done. This talk can be over. All this conversation out the window. In terms of the questions surrounding Boots, it can be done by his next fight in either March or April. Because If it's Virgil and he beats Virgil, well, if he does beat Virgil, who else can beat him? If he beats Virgil Ortiz next, who else beats him? I want to ask because, like, the only thing I'm trying to do, and again, we're going to leave after this. I don't want to drag the show on long. The only thing I want to get you all to understand, and Ramon, I see what you're saying. That's right. It's all believe it till it really happens. I understand. Completely. Yeah, I completely agree with you. The only thing I'm trying to do, not trying to overhype. I'm not trying to go and be so, oh yeah, this man's the greatest fighter ever. No, no, absolutely not. But what I am trying to do is prep you all as fans to be ready. Just like I prepped with you all that if Canelo lost or if Crawford beat Canelo, we were going to be saying that Crawford's better than Floyd, and that conversation took over the world. And everybody now is saying, yeah, he might be better than Floyd. For me, that's, yeah. But for the wider populace, people said, nah, he won't, yeah, that won't never happen. He will never be talked about in that same conversation. Lo and behold, you see where we are right now with Crawford. Just like I was saying about Inoue, when he moved up to fight Stephen Fulton, that this buddy was going to take him out. And he's going to start a run. It's going to be insane. He can do the closest thing we've done to Pacquiao from the sense of moving up in dominance. Though, yes, it wasn't nearly as many weight classes. And he said he's going to stop at 126. Still, one of the greatest fighters we've ever seen. The road can start right then and there, and it did. Or rather, the big steps to being one of the greatest we've ever seen started right after that fight. People said you might be pushing too soon. Usyk versus Fury. When I said that Usyk is going to beat him, and people were saying he's too big, and I was trying to tell y'all his skill set of a bygone era, like the 90s and the 70s, he fights like that. And we were saying, and people were saying that Fury was, he can box on his level with them, and he's too big. There's no way he can lose. And look at what happened. And now he's being talked about as, all right, is this brother better than Ali? Now that's a bold-faced lie. He's not, but he still one of the greatest heavyweights we've ever seen. That is absolutely justified. And I was trying to prep y'all for all these conversations because they're going to come if this stuff happens with Boots. I'm trying to tell y'all about this Crawford thing because it can happen quicker than you may think. I'm trying to prep y'all about where he can be in this division because it can happen quicker than you may think. Have your skepticism and be prove me right or prove me wrong or prove me right type of mentality. I'm all with you there. But I'm trying to tell you right now, do not shoot down what this brother can be. This ain't me just trying to be a fan. This ain't me trying to hype up. I'm telling you, one fight and you're going to see everybody saying exactly what I've been saying. He wins against Virgil. If that's his next fight, next thing you know, oh, this brother's the best. He's the best at 154. Period. And top 10 pound for pound. Watch. And everything. And they are also going to say this brother, before he stepped foot in the division, was already the best fighter in 154. He didn't need LIMA to fight and take out all the best competition. He could have fought them all naked, straight up, without any tune-up, and done the same thing. I guarantee you, that's what people are going to be saying. And I told y'all when he beat Stanionis, I don't see nobody beating Boots at 154 outside of Virgil Ortiz. There are threats, But if it ain't Ortiz, ain't nobody else beating him. I told y'all that back then. If he beats Virgil Ortiz now, guess what? Everything I said would have been right again. Not because I'm some Nostradamus. But I'm just trying to prep y'all because I'm telling you, it can, that quick, it can change. And it's real. Because this brother's real. I'm not trying to say get on the bandwagon. I'm not trying to say come through and all of a sudden put all your stock in Boots. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, though, do not shoot down this brother. Don't do it. Do not do it. Not for this cat. I don't care if you think he's unproven or not. I'm telling you right now, don't you shoot down this brother because it can be, if you get too disrespectful, it can switch very quickly. It can switch very quickly. From all of a sudden, you're going to be seeing that, oh, hey, brother, what, you said that he wasn't able to beat him? You thought he was going to be a test? Next thing you know, oh my gosh. Just like with Crawford, I can't believe people thought that Canelo was going to beat Terrence Crawford. You said he was going to get knocked out. It was Canelo that got hurt. It was those types of conversations where the spotlight gets put on you in a bad way. Because you were so adamant at not being able to see the other side of the picture. I don't want that to happen to you. I'm not saying I'm going to be right. I'm not saying that you won't be right either. You could be absolutely right. And if so, we don't talk about it. But I'm just trying to prep you. Because it can get bad. I'm telling you. It can get bad so quick. It can get bad so quick. Oh, my gosh. But let me see. Von Green here, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So glad you're with us on today. If Jermell Charlo was still at 154, or if Jermell Charlo was still in his prime at 154 versus Boots, would have been a great fight. No, it definitely would have. It definitely would have. I don't want him to fight Boots now. One, because Boots got literal bigger fish to fry. And Charlo is now in the position that many people were saying Boots was in before coming into 154. Hey, brother, you got to work your way back up. You got to prove yourself. I don't care if you got the AI pictures, even though you need to actually hire some legitimate artists. Instead of using AI, you've been able to sit off the backs of that win against Canelo for 3 years. You got enough money to pay some people to make some art. But again, that's a whole nother conversation. Regardless of which, you have had time. And you've done nothing with said time since you fought against Canelo. And now at 154, we are patiently waiting to see if you really are back. And right now, we are not getting the answers that we need. So until you do answer them questions, Boots, don't even bother with, don't even call out his name. Because he's always going to be a big name. Get the belts, then beat up on him. Get the legacy and push your name to the stratosphere. Make it so you're undeniable and then beat up on Charlo. Because you're going to beat up on Charlo. Charlo ain't got no shot. Against Boots, Charlo ain't got no shot now. No shot. None whatsoever. Not in my estimation. Unless he shows me something different. And even then, it's a long shot. If I was Boots, I wouldn't even waste my time. Would not even waste my time at all. Eddie Hearn says he beats anyone 154 to 168 outside of Bud. Well, he said we'll be ready to take on the big dog, referencing Bud. Didn't say Bud outright, but we got to earn our shot. Eddie Hearn would have said, yeah, we can beat Bud too. I don't think he can. Not right now. But he can get there to be able to face off against him very quickly. Eddie Hearn said he can beat everybody at 154 to 168. I'm not going to say that. Not right now. Not at 154. I can say that he can do it. I'm not going to say he's going to. I'm not going to say he's going to beat everybody. Him against Janibek or Lord. That would be interesting. I don't know if he can beat them. And at 168, well, that's a whole other can of worms. We're going to have to wait and see until he gets there, if he gets there at all. But even still, the potential's high, ceiling's high. But Eddie Hearn's going to talk because Eddie Hearn is trying to sell him as the greatest thing since sliced bread. Greatest fighter we've ever seen. No, we ain't doing that. Best fighter in the world. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. Not at all. But the road can get there if you do the right stuff. That's all we can say. Do the right stuff, and doggone it, you can make this statement. You can make this statement right here. Beats everyone from 154 to 168. You can make it a reality. You could. If you go and push yourself like we know that you can. You do that, we good to go. And if you don't achieve it, guess what? Hey, you tried. But you got to try in the first place. That's all we're waiting on. And that's what we know that you can do. But again, then with that being said, I think that's about everything else that we need. Unless there's anything else anybody wants to say, last call for championship rounds on whatever you want to talk about as a topic of discussion, whether it's other fights, other events, other things around the boxing world or beyond, like with the NFL, like with the NBA, which NBA is coming up. You got the likes of, again, Cowboys losing. You've had, I think, what else happened? We had a bunch of stuff happening in the world of the NFL over here in the States that really had everybody shocked. Again, the biggest shock was literally Carolina or the Panthers beating the Cowboys 30-27 in a fight of a game that everybody thought was going to be an outright wash. That should be competitive. Now Dallas got some trouble, especially defensively. Ooh, that secondary is going to be going through the ringer on this week in practice. Boy, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. Giants beating the Eagles with Scatterbo going through inside, literally getting CTE every single play, 3 touchdowns, 98 yards, 19 carries, just running through a brick wall. All of a sudden, the Eagles are looking legitimately vulnerable. Push getting potentially taken out or getting talked about again. We're taken out because they fall short in every couple of games. And got to see where the Dolphins lost to the Chargers. Now the Dolphins are 5-1. Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa, that type of connection ain't working like we thought it was going to work. And we got ourselves some concerns. Major concerns. Crazy enough, the Patriots are actually doing good, playing being 4-2 on the year. Beat the Saints, though the Saints, again, bum team, 25-19. But Drake May actually showing up. Not looking bad at all. Not looking bad at all. Browns and Steelers. Brother, Steelers ran through. I mean ran through the Browns 9-23. Or it's going to be 23-9 with the Steelers winning at home. And when I say that I think even Jalen Ramsey was pointing at the sideline saying put the Shador in after getting rid of Joe Flacco, trading him away. Now the pressure's starting to mount. Browns are 5-1, or Browns are 1-5. Browns are right now at the bottom of the list in the NFL right now. And they should have a roster that can actually make some noise. They should be better than this, I'm not going to lie. Myles Garrett is frustrated. Dylan Gabriel ain't showing up nowhere like the Browns thought he was going to. Starting to look like some of them practice numbers in terms of the respective performances are being validated on the field right now against live competition. Because Dylan Gabriel don't look like that guy. This keeps up and the Browns don't let the Browns go to 1-8 or 2-7 on the year. Yeah, it's going to be a change. Halfway through the season, midway through the season, you better believe Browns got some noise that they need to make. And it can get bad real quick for the front office as a whole and for that quarterback room. Because if Shador actually gets his shot and he does indeed show that he can play some winning football, at least put some points on the board, that's been one of the pitfalls of the Browns offense. Regardless of what the defense does, their offense cannot score for the life of them. You're going to be saying, hey, why didn't y'all just start the butt in the first place? A lot of heat. And so, hey, be prepared. Be prepared, the boy. That's going, ooh, boy. That can get really bad. That organization can get really bad. Really quick. Really, really quick. And so, also, Chiefs beat the Lions. Crazy enough, now the Chiefs are 3-3. Same record as Carolina, which is insane. But also, Lions now 4-2. They fall to the Chiefs in a situation where Patrick Mahomes, looking like his old self finally, almost to 250 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce looking better after a very rocky start to the season. 76 yards. Offense is now starting to click like we wanted to. It's still not at the same rate of the dominant dynasty that we've seen in the past. But hey, beating the Lions, who have been a homegrown team from the bottom up, turning himself into a real force of nature in this division and in the league as a whole. Yeah. Ain't a bad win at all. Ain't a bad win at all. And also Falcons losing to the Chiefs. Not losing. Winning to the Bills. Not looking good for the case of the best quarterback in the world, or at least perceived by some people, in the vein of Josh Allen. Falcons are 3-2. I get that, understandable. But even still, we did not expect it to be a situation where they lost to the Falcons of all teams. When this should have been an easy 5-1 type of game. At least in my estimation. And also, Bears and Commanders go to war. Go to absolute war playing against each other. With the Bears actually winning 25-24. Caleb Williams actually having a great game. Over 150 yards as well. Swift having 108. Good gosh, Swift at 108. Shoot. With 67 catches or 67 yards. Catching what? That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. And the Browns have also been a team that's been slowly but surely building up an actual good roster. Respectful roster. That. All they need is one good spark, and all of a sudden this team could actually be a threat. Legit be a threat. So, hey. It's great to see nonetheless. But let me see. We got new people in the chat. Roger Day, yo, what's going on? How you doing? Vegeta? Well, it's gonna not Vegeta. What's good with you? How you doing? Don't be coming up and trying to blow up half the chat just because you feel like it, because you under the influence. With that. Be in control. We can't have that. Because I ain't gonna fight you. I'm gonna just run. I'm not gonna lie. But even still, Patriots gonna win the Super Bowl? I think not. With all credit to Drake May and all credit to the surprising performance of what we see with the likes of the Patriots, when it should be that many people thought they weren't going to be nearly as successful, as much noise making as they were today. It's oh my indeed. Crazy enough to have a winning record, 4-2. We gonna see if this keeps up. Will it? I don't know. Can it? Potentially. If Drake May keeps on playing like this, you might have to find yourself a starting coach. You might have just found yourself your starting QB. Absolutely. Let me see. Glad the Bills lost. I think a lot of people are. Whole bunch of people are. Now, is this going to be the plot is still going to be most likely 6-3, 7-2, going into the next portion of this year, most likely. So we ain't got to worry about them for now. But if they do fall to 4-4, all of a sudden, things are getting sketchy. Things are getting dangerous out here in the old NFL. On the old gridiron, things are going to get very antsy. Very antsy indeed. And my gosh, don't let them get under 500 by the time halfway through the year starts. Ooh, man. We're going to... Bills fans are going to be jumping off of more than cars into tables. They're gonna be jumping off of a cliff. They're gonna be like, what's going on with my team? I guarantee you that's what's gonna happen. But oh man, but we got to wait and see as the season progresses. But again, we gotta get out of here. We gotta end the show. We covered everything that we need to cover, and y'all gotta enjoy your afternoon. And I got things to do. So with all that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, yo, John Welch. Hey, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for listening. It's been a phenomenal show. It's been a great day of action, fervor, fire, and eventful talking points all throughout the day. If you want to support the channel, please come through and support the channel through Cash App and PayPal. Links down below in the description. While we are going through and still get monetization again, we got some big plans for it. Almost got that thing set. Once you do, the money's gonna be rolling in, and all of y'all gonna pay me what you owe. Absolutely. I'm just kidding. We're gonna earn our right to make our dough. But this is what I do for a living. So please, if you can't support the channel, it would mean the world to me. Help to invest back into the show, better equipment, better lighting, all that stuff to help us make this show bigger, better, and grander, to fit the bill of the hottest show in all the globe, on YouTube, on every podcasting platform imaginable. Latest 5 5 stars on every podcasting platform. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post. Also, be sure to like the video before you get on out of here and share the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. All with you and your support, we can make this thing possible. Thank you to Thank you to everybody who tuned into the show and who chatted and commented. We appreciate it absolutely. We're going to be back on Thursday, same time, same place, talking about the world of boxing and beyond, all with you and all with us together. And hey, enjoy the rest of your day. And be safe. Be blessed. I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. We are out of here. Yes, sir. Oh, excuse me. No, and we are out of here. Yes, sir. We're going to see you all on Thursday. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace and love. We out.